Get inspired, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Life Inspired. If you've never tuned in before, this is a show all about how and why people are following God, and usually involving some kind of a turning point in their lives. So most people have several turning points in life, but a lot of times your life was going along, just kind of doing something, and then God, that's our ... moment, stepped in. God stepped in and said, hey, I want you to come over here and do this instead. Sometimes it's the first time you've ever followed God, and sometimes you've been following him, but he just wants you to do a new job. So that's exciting. And so now you're walking this inspired life. And what does that look like? You can watch these shows on inspiredhomes.com. You can watch them on lifeinspiredshow.com or on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And it really helps get the word out about how much God is doing in the world if you can like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you don't mind doing that and sharing this with whomever you think needs to hear it, we appreciate it. And my guest today is my dear friend Jackie Appleman.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
So now Jackie's been on the show before because she is the director of our local St. Joe County Right to Life, and we talked all about how God was, you should go back on Facebook. I don't think that one's on YouTube because it was way before we started on YouTube, but yeah, how and when you, like, God called you to say, I want you to come do Right to Life. That was kind of a crazy story. But you're also fostering and now about to adopt your first.
Yes.
Which is so exciting. So I know you have 3 girls, and we're not going to use the girls' names today because for their safety, right? We want to make sure the girls are safe and there's nobody that would try to harm them. Right. So you got little Jay, who's 10, and then you also got A, and she's in college now, but you're still involved in her life even though she's not in your house, right? And then now you have a new one, and we're calling her Z, right?
Yep, and she's 16.
And she's 16,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got started in the very first place.
Yeah, so I've been doing this about 3 years now.
Okay.
I had started feeling the calling to do this a little bit before that, but was really hesitant.
Because you're a single mom.
Single and working full time. I was
Right.
just like, I don't have the capacity to do this. I don't know if I should, So I would just kind of sat on it, didn't act on that call. And then I saw a family friend who was fostering and somebody whose opinion I respected. So I asked her, I'm like, well, single, working full time, is that an appropriate situation to be fostering in? And she's like, if you have a safe and loving home, then absolutely. These kids are coming from such tragic circumstances. They just need some stability and safety and love. So I was like, that's all I needed. So I started the process and got licensed and doing it about 3 years now. When I first started, I decided to foster teenagers. Have experience in mentoring and raising teens, so that's what I do, like older teens, 16, 17, 18.
Did you have youth groups that you worked in or something like that? What was your past experience?
Helping to take care of my siblings when I'm like 10 years older than them, so after our mom passed, I took care of them when they were teenagers.
Wow.
And then there was this mentorship group that I was in.
Wow.
That mentored teens. So that was kind of the age group I was used to. And also teenagers can they can feed themselves and clothe themselves, and it's not like taking care of a baby where I need to be home most of the time because they're off at school and things like that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to foster teenagers, and I'm not I went in with the express intent, I am not going to adopt. And so that's how I got started and been doing it ever since.
But then, so when little Jay came, she was 7, wasn't she?
She was 9, yeah.
Oh, you've only had her a little over a year?
Yeah.
Okay. But still, that's a lot younger than a teenager.
Yes, it is.
How did that even happen?
Oh, my goodness. So I got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning from my foster agency. I saw who was calling, and I was like, I don't want to. Well, I already had the 18-year-old,
right?
And I knew she was about to go off to college, and so I was like, A, I don't want a second placement right now, and B, I wanted a break after she left. So sometimes I like to take breaks in between placements just because it's a lot, and so I ignored the phone call because I didn't want another placement, and then I heard very blatantly. It reminds me of the song "The Summons." I heard, "If I call, will you answer?" And I was like,
I'm sorry, God.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So I just laid there and thought about that, and the phone rang again. I think the agency was trying to wake me up. So I answered that time, and they were like, we have a 9-year-old who needs a place tonight. And I was like, a 9-year-old? I was like, I don't
I'm not supposed to do 9-year-olds.
Yeah, I was like, what do I do with a 9-year-old? And I was like, well, if you need a place tonight, I'll take her, but you'll find another home for her, right? At that point, I still was just like, this is not what I'm going to do. And they're very hesitant. They're like, well, if we need to find another home, we will, but we'd have to go outside the agency. I had the last open bed in our foster agency.
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, go ahead and, bring her. And so they brought her. And
In the middle of the night, they come to your house.
yeah, she had to go to the doctor and all kinds of stuff first. So it was about 8 a.m. by the time they dropped her off. And came with nothing but the clothes on her back. And fortunately, I had a really good support system. I just kind of did a call for help for anything that a 9-year-old needs, because I didn't have, I don't have toys. I don't have.
Right.
I was like, I don't even know what a 9-year-old needs.
Right.
And so when I did this call for help, I was like, I need clothes and whatever else a 9-year-old needs. And the response was so overwhelming. I got stuff for school. I got clothes. I got crafts and toys and books and all kinds of things. So it was great. But it was like within a week or two, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to let her go. So she'll be with me a year, March 26th.
Oh my gosh, it's my oldest daughter's birthday.
Yeah. So that's her 1 year being in my home. And in December, I decided to adopt her. So as of March 30th, she will be a permanent member of the family.
God just pulled on your heartstrings and said she's supposed to stay.
Yep.
She needs you always.
Yep.
Very cool.
So,
and how was A about that when you decided to adopt Jay? Is she doing okay with that? Because she's like, I don't even think you can adopt her. She's 18, right?
Right. Yep. She's 19 now. So, she's fine with it. And, she was never wanting to be adopted herself. And, she's doing well doing
cool.
her thing. So, and her and Jay got along really well. So
Good.
she's happy about it and stuff.
And then how's Z doing?
So Z's been with me about a week. So
just a week.
Yes.
Wow.
So she's very new. Her and Jay get along really well.
Good.
But we'll see what the future holds for that.
Right. Wow. Cool. And so she's 16, so she's like in high school somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. So good.
Yeah.
Well, so how can we have great viewers that are wonderful prayer supporters?
Yeah.
So how can we pray for you? What can we do? What are some things that you need prayer about?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All the things. Praying for families in general is just really important. And praying for the kids and healing from their trauma.
Sure.
Not just Jay, but A and Z and all kids in foster care.
Sure.
They're coming from very difficult and traumatic circumstances. So
Lots of history.
Praying for healing for them is good. Pray that they feel just love and they're looking for belonging, and that they search for that belonging in healthy ways.
In the right place.
And then, of course, prayer for foster parents and the foster families for continued strength and patience and stability to help, guide and give support to the kids.
Because if one comes in and they are kind of rebellious against the foster parents because they don't, you're not my real parents, is that probably a thing? I would think that's probably a thing for some of them.
Yeah, and they're in a constant state of survival mode. And so teenagers in general are very, they react very quickly without thinking about the consequences of things. And then when they have this trauma and they're in the survival mode, even more so. So they'll just react to situations without even thinking, and oftentimes it's putting themselves in fairly dangerous situations.
Right. So what if we have a viewer that wants to get involved in fostering? What should they do?
Yeah, so South Bend, the Mishawaka, South Bend, Michiana area has lots of great foster agencies. I am licensed with Staffy, but you've got Kids Peace and NYAP, I think is what it's called. So you can even just Google foster agencies in the area and start the process to get licensed.
Yeah, we'll make sure that TJ21 puts some links to those. We'll get those links from you, and we'll make sure they're attached here so people can find them. Great. Okay.
That's great. Another way to help, there's two foster closets in South Bend, one in South Bend and one in Mishawaka, and these are closets hosted by churches that give out free clothes and books and diapers and food to foster families,
Cool.
which is really helpful, especially in Jay's case. She came with nothing but the clothes on her backs. I had
Sure.
nothing for her. So to be able
Sure.
to go to that foster closet and just get some clothes to get us started. A lot of people foster younger kids, so they have diapers and bottles and things like that.
Okay.
So if you have extra clothes to donate, or you want to give financially or materially, giving to those foster closets
Okay.
is very helpful too.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much. Okay, well, guys, this is a great need. So for a living, what Jackie does is run the St. Joe County Right to Life, and these 3 girls that are in her home, and A's at school, but they have a right to a great life, and there's a lot of people with the need for a great life. So so we can lift you guys up in prayer, and I love that these opportunities. If you guys would like to meet with Jackie and talk to her about it, I know she would have coffee with you, so you can message us here wherever you're watching it from. Message us, and we will get you in touch with Jackie, and you can ask her more questions about that. And you know what, we do often ask, how do you stay inspired every day? Because the way people connect with God is so unique. It's like your fingerprint or your retinal scan, or whatever it is in your DNA that's different to you, and the way you connect with God is different. So what do you do? How do you stay inspired every day?
Wow, that's a great question. I like to start my day in prayer. So, and I'm not a morning person, so it's a very quick prayer. But I'll read the Litany of Humility every day. So it just kind of puts me in that space to, remember who my God is and who I'm leading, and then end my day in prayer as well. So I do night prayer, and being able to bookend my days really helps me before I go to sleep. It's the last thing I think about when I wake up.
Right.
So even when the day gets crazy and I forget to stay grounded in that, if I can at least start and end my day, it helps.
I love that. Bookends.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. And I love that, you set your mind. Our word for the year is mindset. And so, by having bookends to start that way and end that way, you're setting your mind on God first. That's awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
thanks for watching. Share it to whomever you think needs to hear the story. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.